Hello, today is Wednesday, August 26, 2026. Here is your daily signal. According to Business Insider, the U.S. Navy has unveiled its next-generation AIM-424 Malice missile, which can be carried internally by the F-35 stealth fighter and threatens enemy aircraft more than 280 miles away. The missile is a direct response to escalating Pacific tensions, as China deploys increasingly long-range air-to-air missiles and the Pentagon moves to offset the Chinese PL-15, which exceeds 300 miles in range. On August 24, 2026, the Pentagon emphasized its strategy of deploying longer-range missiles, while Business Insider confirmed that the Malice fits inside an F-35, preserving stealth capabilities and extending U.S. air power reach. Initial deployment is expected to tip the Pacific air balance in favor of U.S. and allied forces, with upgraded armaments likely arriving for F-35 units in Guam, Japan, and South Korea by late 2026. Experts predict continued regional escalation, with China potentially pursuing even more advanced missile technology, while operational integration of the Malice may enable new multi-domain tactics for U.S. and partner air forces. Next, onto financial system risks. Business Insider reports that Tuomas Maalainen, a specialist in financial crises, now sees a leverage-induced U.S. recession by year-end. Maalainen warns that extreme leverage, which means institutions and banks are extensively reliant on borrowed money, is threatening the U.S. financial system's stability, as leverage has historically led to severe downturns, most notably in the 2008 crisis. As of August 24, 2026, Maalainen predicts a leverage-triggered U.S. recession by the end of 2026 or early 2027, with major banks and financial institutions such as J.P. Morgan Chase and Bank of America, as well as regulatory bodies like the Federal Reserve and FDIC, in focus. Near-term risks include heightened volatility in stock markets, investor uncertainty and possible capital flight, credit tightening, and reduced lending activity, factors expected to drag GDP growth lower by year-end. Medium-term consequences could include rising unemployment, potential emergency interventions by the Federal Reserve, and systemic instability that might prompt stricter regulatory oversight and major legislative reforms regarding leverage. Now turning to space propulsion innovation. Next Big Future has published a review questioning whether the IVO quantum drive's recent orbital test produced a genuine thrust signal, or if the experiment simply revealed an unresolved anomaly. The IVO quantum drive is a novel propulsion system based on Dr. Mike McCulloch's quantized inertia theory, and its mission was to generate thrust in orbit without using propellant, a prospect that, if real, would defy conventional physics and potentially revolutionize how spacecraft move. The August 24, 2026 article highlights the controversy over whether observed signals are authentic indicators of propellantless thrust or just experimental artifacts, with aerospace researchers and academic physicists actively debating the findings. If confirmed, this technology could reduce spacecraft mass requirements and enable new mission profiles, but ongoing uncertainty may delay commercial adoption and increase calls for independent verification by governments and industry. Rapid follow-up experiments are likely if a breakthrough is validated, while inconclusive or negative results could reinforce skepticism, limiting investment into propellantless propulsion systems. Now, onto the markets. International equities were mixed, with Germany's EWG and EWD both rising over 1.4% day-over-day, while France's EWQ slipped slightly. Notably, Indonesia's IDX led monthly gains among major country ETFs with over 9% growth, while Hong Kong's EWH lagged behind other Asian markets. Commodities saw gold GLD and silver SLV edge higher, up 0.3% and 0.2% respectively, while U.S. oil USO dropped more than 4.5% on the session. Uranium URA outperformed, surging over 5% on the day, but platinum PPLT fell slightly. In U.S. sectors, the S&P 500 SPY posted a modest gain, while the semiconductor segment tracked by SOX climbed up 1.5%. Among notable movers, AMD jumped nearly 5% and Marvell MRVL added over 4.8%. For individual stocks, top gainers included GFRR, rallying 559%, and DAIC up 199%. While GDEVWA and HUMA saw sharp declines, plunging 89% and 78% respectively. That's it for today. You can find more news and details on our website. Goodbye.